Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Boris, or MMA Leaked here, and today we are talking about finally a good card. All right, UFC Saudi Arabia. All right, this is finally gonna be a good card. The last couple weeks of cards have been kind of mediocre, especially yesterday's fight night. It disappointed. You know, like two of the good fights got canceled: the Ikram fight and the Tagir versus Joshua Van fight. Both those got canceled. So we were left with a bunch of bums fighting. But that's alright because we're finally getting a good card. And I feel like we can make some money with this one. Before I go ahead and start and talk about my picks, I want to go ahead and let y'all know to join this Discord in the description, okay? It's a 100% free Discord community with a bunch of people who like MMA, who bet MMA. It's a great place to be. If you have any questions, feel free to at me in the Discord. I'm always there. I'm always active. So, yeah, link in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my picks. I don't like wasting a lot of time. So I see people on YouTube making like 30-minute videos on picks and predictions. I like to be quick, sweet, straight to the point. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my locks. All right, locks. Number one lock of this card, all right? It's going to be a no-brainer. Sergey Pavlovich, all right? Reason why is he's actually a minus 210 favorite, which is crazy. I would expect him to be way higher. Reason why? Alexander Volkov is the guy he's fighting. Alexander Volkov has sparred Sergey multiple times. And in an interview, Alexander literally said that he can't do nothing against Sergey when they spar. Sergey always just pieces him up in sparring. He literally can't get past those strikes. He's too hard of a hitter, too fast, and this is gonna be an easy dub for Sergey. This fight should get finished in the first round, and Sergey is definitely getting the KO. You could lower those odds by a little bit. By Sergey, he's minus 210. It'll probably be like a minus 180 for KO. I'm not exactly sure. But once he gets closer to the fight, I will be able to look at that. I mean, I could probably go to like a odds website, but I'm not doing that right now. All right, that's lock number one. All right, for lock number two of the card, we got Shada Magomedov. I hope I said that right. Come on, man. The one-eyed pirate is what I like to call him. He's fighting a guy who has a lot of finishes, 13 subs, 14 KOs, 38 total wins. That's crazy. He's only 31 years old, so he has a lot of experience. He actually fought in the PFL twice in 2021 and lost both those fights and got dropped by the PFL. He won 4 consecutive fights in a row, and now he's having his UFC debut. But unfortunately, they gave him another demon, another beast, all right? And Magomedov, Shara, he's finna whoop him. Shara's finna go crazy. He has crazy kicks. He's super aggressive, and he tries to find that KO. So I feel like Magomedov, Shara, is getting that dub, all right? And he's also a minus 220 favorite. Pair those up, you'll get some good odds, all right? At least makes double your money. So I will go ahead and parlay those two. Those two parlayed will go good together, all right? Another person I feel pretty confident on is Renat, all right? He's fighting Nicholas Dalby, who's 39 years old. He's getting to that age. Even though Nicholas Dalby did look good his last fight, he fought Gabriel Bonfim, who's a pretty good prospect, actually a great prospect. He actually KO'd him. So a lot of people are probably going to sleep on Dalby, but I'm going to have to sleep on him too this fight. He's fighting a tough wrestling Russian, and as you can see, they both throw about 4 strikes per minute. They're pretty evenly matched, but if you look, he gets 4 takedowns. He averages 4 takedowns compared to Nicholas Dalby's 1 takedown. Hopefully it's not a snooze fest. Hopefully Renat is not just trying to lay on him the whole fight. You know, I hate fights that go like that. But Renat, I'm pretty confident in. That's my third lock of the card. All right, those are all my locks that I'm pretty confident on. Next, I want to go ahead and talk about picks that I'm confident on, but not as confident. Okay, so they're still good picks, but take it with a grain of salt. Usually for the main event, I leave that last to talk about, but I want to go ahead and talk about it right now. Robert Whittaker versus Ikram. He was supposed to fight Hamzat, but Hamzat's sick for the 10th time in a row. We just want to see Hamzat fight, but he keeps getting sick. Apparently, there's rumors that he might not even come back. He might retire because his health keeps getting in the way. I don't know how accurate that is, but I did see that on X. But Whittaker is fighting another Russian, Ikram, who is no joke either. But this is Ikram's first actual test, okay? Robert Whittaker, he looked great in the Paulo Costa fight. It was only a 3-round fight. So Whittaker is going to have the cardio advantage, okay? Ikram is going to be trying to wrestle probably. Even though he does strike a lot, Ikram is going to have the wrestling advantage. But you got to think about it. Robert Whittaker was training for Hamzat, who's just like a straight wrestler. His striking's like mediocre. So if you think about it, Whittaker is ready to be wrestling against somebody, okay? And Robert Whittaker being Ikram's first test, it's not going to be as easy as you think. If you look at how many strikes Ikram throws per minute, 8 strikes per minute compared to Robert Whittaker's 4.5. But that's because he's fighting bums and he can actually go ahead and rush them. He's not going to do that with Robert Whittaker. He's probably going to be a little bit more passive. This is a fight that's on another level, okay? So he's got to be smart with it. He's probably going to be a little bit more hesitant. I still assume he's going to be, keep that aggression on Robert. But I got Robert Whittaker winning, okay? I don't know if there's going to be a finish, but who knows? Robert Whittaker could get a decision win, 5 rounds. But I don't know if Ikram can last 5 rounds. I'm imagining him getting tired in round 4 or 5 and maybe just not being able to do much because he's so tired. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. Robert Whittaker versus Ikram. I got Robert Whittaker. If y'all have a different opinion, let me know in the comments. Another fight I want to talk about is Kevin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez, okay? Daniel Rodriguez, he didn't look that good in his past 2 fights. He did fight some, hard hitters in the division. He fought Ian Gary and Neil Magny. And he beat Jingling by a split decision. But Kevin Gastelum, he's fought the best guys in the division, okay? Maybe he hasn't beat all of them, but he comes and shows out every time. He did get absolutely dominated by Sean Brady. Literally just got laid on. He really couldn't do anything. But he did also beat Chris Curtis unanimously. So that is quite impressive. And like I said, he's fought the better guys. So I feel like Kevin Gastelum will end up getting the victory. Okay, I'm thinking a decision win. As you can see, he either wins or loses most of his fights by decision. He really doesn't get finished too often by KO. And let's see how many subs. Yeah, he only has 4 subs, Rodriguez, so he probably won't be subbing. He'll be standing on the feet. I see this fight going to the decision for sure. Kevin Gastelum getting that decision win. We got Johnny Walker versus Volkan. All right. This fight is tough for me to decide who's going to win, man. At first, I was thinking Volkan just because he comes to fight every time. He's like a brawler. But he doesn't finish a lot of his opponents compared to Johnny Walker. He has a lot more finishes. He KOs a lot more of his opponents. The only thing I don't like about Johnny Walker is he's a little clumsy. All right, he's always losing his balance, throwing weird ass combinations. He's a little clumsy, but that's kind of hard to train for as well. So it could be an advantage for him. And I don't see this fight going. Well, it could go a distance. I'm not too sure, but I think I'm gonna go with Johnny Walker. This one of those fights that it could go either way. But like I said, Johnny has the more of the finishing potential, so I do see him getting that W. All right, the next fight I want to talk about is Nasrat versus Jared Gordon. All right, so Nasrat, as you can see right here, he loses to the better guys, the guys that are top of the division, Dan Hooker, Bobby Green. He loses to them, but after that, he does beat the lower tier guys. Okay, but if we look at Jared Gordon, same with him. He went up against Grant Dawson. He got subbed. He got rawed by Patty, which everybody knows Patty did not win that fight. And then after that fight, he gets a headbutt with Bobby Green, and that fight gets into a no contest. And then after that fight, he knocks out Mark Madsen pretty nicely. I used to sleep on Jared Gordon, but he has been getting a lot better, and it's crazy. He used to be like a drug addict, did that heroin for like a bunch of years. So respect to him for breaking that habit and starting a good one. But I'm gonna go with Nasrat. He has a lot more finishes, and if you look at that, Jared Gordon's been knocked out 4 times. Nasrat does have that KO potential. He has 10 KOs on his record, so just because of that, I'm gonna go ahead with Nasrat. We got next Muhammad Naimov versus Melsik Baghdad. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna say his full name. I don't want to butcher it. But if we look at this fight, this is gonna be another tough one. But I do feel like Naimov Muhammad does pull off the victory. Okay, if you look at that, he came into the UFC, knocked out Mulcahy in the second round. That's not too crazy. Mulcahy or Mulcahy, I don't know how to say his name, but he's not too great of a fighter. But he did unanimously defeat Nathaniel Wood. All right, that's actually pretty impressive. That guy's a pretty good fighter. He's tough, and he was able to outstrike him. Actually, let's look at his stats real quick. Yeah, you see his accuracy is pretty good. Out of 140 strikes, he landed 100 of them. You don't see that too often. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead with Muhammad. I feel like you can't go wrong with that pick, and the odds are pretty close. So I feel like that would be a good pick right there. All right, these last 3, I'm gonna go ahead and speed run through them. We got Brenson Ribeiro versus Magomed. Okay, so Magomed, he beat Medina in a unanimous decision. Medina is like a fat lard. He ain't really being nobody. So, but Brenson and Magomed is a huge favorite. He's a -450 favorite versus Ribeiro. But Ribeiro's a hard-hitting motherfucker. If you watch his last fight with Ming Yang, in the first round he got knocked out, but he was putting his hands on Ming Yang for a little bit. But Ming Yang's a tall-ass, big-ass Asian. He went in there, did not back down from the punches that he was getting taken from. So this one's going to be a tough one, I'm not going to lie. I feel like it shouldn't be that big of a gap between the odds. But I'm going to have to go with Magomed, man. Actually, no. I'm not even going to say who I'm going to go for. I might sprinkle a little bit on a Ribeiro in one of my parlays. Just because, look at his record, man. He's knocking out everybody in the first round. He comes in there to scrap. And I feel like he can actually possibly KO Magomed. Even though Magomed is undefeated right now. See, you never know with these undefeated fighters. I might just stay away from that one. Alright, so we got Korea versus China, I believe. Yup. So we got somebody with a lot of fights on their record. 10 subs. He's never got subbed before. And he has 4 KOs. But if you look at his 3 past fights, he's barely winning these decisions, okay? compared to if we look at Chang Ho Lee's record, you know, he's knocking motherfuckers out. All right, that tells me enough. Okay, that tells me that I'm gonna go with Chang Ho Lee. He is a slight favorite, I believe, but they're pretty much even odds. Same height. Let me see. Yeah, pretty similar reach, 1 inch reach difference. I'm gonna go with Chang Ho Lee. I feel like that's a solid pick. Can't go wrong with that. But y'all, that is gonna wrap up this video. If you did enjoy it, just make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any other opinions, if you think someone else is gonna win, drop it down in the comments. Make sure to join my Discord, 100% free. Come talk in there. I love to have y'all with me. Other than that, peace.